Hey, before we get into the silver edition of White Heat, yes, 25 episodes deep. Yeah, I don't know how we're still on the air either, but we do want to talk about our friends at Mohawk Condo over at Scotia Glenville. Oh man, we've been talking for a while now. Hey, the supply and demand challenges in the auto industry. And I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do. 2022 models are coming out, coming into inventory. They want to do something about their 2021s, and they're going to be able to help you out with trying to figure out what you want to do as well for you to get top dollar for your vehicle. So right now, Mohawk Honda, you can take advantage of their Kelly Blue Book instant cash offer, as they can put cash in your hand for your vehicle the same day you come in. And that's even if you don't want to turn around and buy a different vehicle from them. Yeah, that's right. They're not going to be stingy. They're willing to pass out the Benjamins like nobody's business, even if you're not going to turn around and get a new vehicle from them, or even a certified used pre-owned vehicle from them. It's a pretty sweet deal, especially, hey, if you're a recent college grad, or if you're a student that's just strapped for some cash. This is perfect for you right here, right now. If you are listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, Mohawk Honda has consistently kept their lot fully stocked with hundreds of pre-owned vehicles, which you can check out easily. You don't have to go to the lot. That's not mandatory. You can get your first look online on the website, because every single vehicle in their inventory is going to be on there for you to look at for easy access. So you don't have to just be overwhelmed when you walk on the lot. You'll already be prepared. You're ready to go and say, I want this for that and everything else. You ain't got to worry about going through hours or checking out vehicle after vehicle after vehicle. So stop in and say hi to Greg Johnson, the assistant GM, Jake Outsource Doyle, Louise, the VIP man Morales, or any of the many helpful sales consultants over at Mohawk Honda, where they have a vast selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles. And now is the time to take advantage of those vehicles with great deals by taking advantage of the Kelly Blue Book instant cash offer on top of it over at Mohawk Honda in the Scotia Glenville area of upstate New York, where they always go out of their way to please you. And with that being said, hello, my little infidels. Welcome to the silver anniversary. I believe that's what we said it was last week. This would be the silver edition. Episode 25 of White Heat. I'm Brian Katie. That's JJ Alexander. We're presented to you by Godzilla Media. And as always, sponsored by our good friends over at Mohawk Honda, as well as Johnstone Supply in Troy, who we will get to in a little bit. First things first, before I do the usual of how are you doing, JJ, because I already know how you're doing, but we'll do it for the viewers and listeners in a second. I listened to an interesting piece of footage today before we got started with this podcast, and it was a clip from one of Renee Paquette's podcasts, and it was, I believe, her most recent episode she put up. I could be wrong, because she's been posting a lot of them around the same time recently. But it's the one she did with Arya Davari, and he went into the story of the first Saudi show, and yeah, you know what I'm getting at, and just discussing the parameters of how that came to be. So we're not going to get into it, but if you haven't seen it or heard it, it's about, if I remember correctly, it's like an 11-minute clip. Go to YouTube, very easy to find. I think her name of her podcast is Oral Sessions, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Go look it up. If you want to hear like the firsthand story of, thank you, I saw that in the corner of my eye. If you want to see the firsthand, if you want to see or hear the firsthand story behind that segment, how it came to be, the fallout from it, so on and so forth, go check it out. I don't usually plug anything outside of the Godzilla Media family, but it's an intriguing topic that was discussed. And I'll just forward you onto there. That being said, stick with us for this episode and then go do that. Mr. Alexander, how are you today, sir?
I'm alive.
Alive is good. It's another day above dirt, so we love that.
Yeah. Had a little health snafu. I'm on a lot of antibiotics, so it gives me bad acid reflux. So Didn't sleep well. So, today I'm like, just sitting here with my protein shake and my rosemary herbal tea, trying to settle my stomach, which really sucks for me because yesterday the wife went out on Sunday morning. She went out with our good friend, co-owner DPW show, and Hardcore Sweet Bakery in Connecticut. They're kind of famous. They've been on a lot of the Food Network shows. They were on like one of the Food Truck Challenge shows and like Cupcake Wars and stuff. They're freaking amazing. They just opened up a second location because they have 2 trucks. Then they had 1 brick and mortar location. They just opened up a second one in Southington, which is 1 town over from me. It's a town where I grew up most of the time. So they run theme days, and yesterday was Tim Burton Day, which made the wife and Shell extremely happy. So
sure
they went,
did.
and the wife brings home a half dozen cupcakes, and they're sitting there in the kitchen, and my stomach's going, don't even try it right now. Because they're like so well done, because they're all Tim Burton themed. She got me a Mars Attacks cupcake and a Pee Wee Herman cupcake. It's got like a fondant friggin' red bow tie on it. And she got one that was it was called Lydia's Wedding Cake from Beetlejuice, and it's just like a dark chocolate cupcake with chocolate icing and a fondant freaking finger with the ring still on it on top of it.
Oh God!
Like these people are amazing. They make awesome stuff, and just it's sitting there in my kitchen, and I'm like, I have my herbal tea, and I'm not touching anything right now.
So it's the kind of company that not only has stuff that tastes good, but they also make stuff that's beautiful and wants to tempt you into eating it.
Oh, exactly.
Like, hello.
Like their stuff is I've never had anything bad from there, but it's like we went there their opening weekend a couple of weeks ago for the new location, and we got a couple of things to bring home, and like a few days later we remembered that we still had 1 cupcake in the fridge. And it was it's a maple bacon cupcake, and she was like, you want to split this with me? And I was just like, I'll have a bite because diabetes. And she just cuts it. She cuts it in half, and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna die now, because their cupcakes are like the size of like muffins, and the way they do it is when they frost their cupcakes, they dip it down in the center and fill out. So you actually get like frosting in every bite. They're amazing people. They're amazing people.
I need to move to Connecticut. Shit. Because I don't know anybody around here doing that shit. Oh my God.
Listen, next when we start running again in early 2022, we'll be nearby.
I won't be able to drive home. I'll have to spend the night for that shit. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. I wonder if that Days Inn is still open, because they had good rates. Whew. Good Lord. Anyways. All right, now they got me all hot and bothered over sweets. Before you got into the story about the cupcakes, I was going to say it's I don't know if it's considered ironic or coincidental. I get the 2 mixed up all the time. But the way you were feeling, it almost sounded like a pantomime of everything that I had been going through, because I had a family birthday dinner last night that I basically starved myself all day until then. Then I overstuffed myself with all kinds of Italian goodness that always made what you said about not feeling good and all that, like the symptoms, like it was basically identical to me, because I had a big family dinner last night that I starved myself for until we got to that. And the restaurant, it's a family style Italian place. So like, if you overstuff yourself, that's going to be bad news potentially. And sure enough, it was for me. So I got home and I suffered the consequences of needing to take Tums and some aspirin, and then I was good to go. And then, of course, the dog woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning and said, fuck you, you're not sleeping anymore. So that's essentially been my last 24 hours. So I'm with you. Drink up the tea. And I'm going to just I'm gonna sip on my my drink of choice here. Any hooser. A good amount of stuff to get into today. we're going to crescendo this show, meaning we're going to start with the baby stuff, in my opinion, and we're going to work our way towards, basically the format of this show is going to be what it typically has been in the past. We're not coming out of the gates completely hot. We're just mentioning a few things, and then we're going to get hot, I think. So let me just dive into just some like update kind of stuff, and then we'll go from there. So first off, Ring of Honor, they have Final Battle coming up on the 11th of December in a few weeks. No need to dive into anything too crazy with them because there haven't any matches officially announced yet for the card. Yeah. However, they did have an event Honor for All that happened over the weekend. OGK, so Matt Taven and Mike Bennett became the new tag team champions, defeating Dragon Lee and Kenny King in order for that to happen. Aside from that, they actually had a GCW tag title match on the card as well.
Because the Briscoes, yeah,
right. So the Briscoes, they successfully defended, obviously, because they're not going to drop the titles on an ROH show. That'd be dumb.
Yeah.
Gresham beat Brody King. Bandito was he won a no DQ non-title match against Demonic Flamita. Like I mentioned, the OGK winning the tag titles. Those are really the highlights of the card. Yeah. Nothing really too crazy to go about. But again, like I mentioned, nothing booked officially yet for Ring of Honor on the 11th of December, which is, if I remember correctly, that's what, like
less than a month.
3 weeks away.
Yep.
I want to say it's 3 weeks from Saturday. Yeah, 3 weeks from Saturday. So just under 4 weeks away. As we're recording this on Monday, the 15th of November. Anything you potentially would like to see out of, based on what's been happening in Ring of Honor and obviously what's going to happen, is there anything in particular you would like to see booked for Final Battle?
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to see closed, like any potential stories you'd like to have closed before things go on a long break? What are your takes on that?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, if Bandito and Flamita had a no DQ match, there's no reason for them to have another one because that kind of ended that rivalry.
Right.
I would honestly, if they're not going to be running for a few months and they're going on this big reset and it's the last hurrah deal, they should go balls to the wall and they should do freaking Foundation versus Violence Unlimited, and they should do it in the scramble cage. Go old school.
Okay. Old school never hurts. I like the idea. Anything else? So, hypothetically, what do you think happens with the world title then? Like, do you think they go with a brand new challenger? Do they?
Probably. It's kind of weird to build a brand new challenger so quickly, but I mean, unless they do fucking Bandito versus Roosh. No, they can't do Roosh because Roosh is hurt.
Roosh is still in the house.
Shit. So I don't. Yeah, like Flamita was like the only person that was really like a big rival for Bandito right now. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do with that.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'll see here. The only thing I'm not sure about, and we'll get into more of this later, because the person I'm about to mention is potentially tied up. Actually, I'll scope the roster real quick. Hang on, give me a second here. The first person I just thought of off the top of my head, this doesn't necessarily mean I want them to win the title. It's just the first name I thought of.
Mm-hmm.
You throw Jay Lethal in there for the fuck of it?
I guess, but he would have been in the scramble cage that I just booked.
I'm just looking at the roster right now and thinking of names. Brody King. Although Brody just lost to Jonathan Gresham, so I don't know. Maybe throw Gresham in there. Although that would be the scramble cage too, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let me think.
I mean, you can do Bandito and PCO.
Yeah, I suppose. Unless they get somebody lined up, and again, I haven't been paying close enough attention to anything he's doing recently to notice if anything's going on. But what if they had champion versus champion and had Josh Woods face Bandito?
I mean, they could.
I wouldn't say that's a top option, but it's an option, I should say.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just throwing it shit against the wall. Just I don't know. Just trying to think of anything really. So obviously that card, they've got like about almost a month to put it together. So we'll go from there and have it all work out. Next little bit of news. And this actually came out today. MLW, they've announced that they are returning to Dallas for a show on January 21st called Blood and Thunder. Again, no official bookings yet since we are over 2 months out, but they did announce that. So I would assume that's going to be first booking of the new year for them. As if I've been picking things up correctly, they're kind of doing the old Ring of Honor model where they've been basically doing one date a month and taping out in advance at that one date.
Yeah.
So basically we're looking at the Mexico show next month and then this Dallas show on the 21st of January. And then we'll obviously go from there. I can tell you, out of the talents listed as being booked for this show as of right now, so Enzo is like, it was not a hit and quit it kind of thing, apparently.
No, he's going to be feuding with Casey Navarro.
So that's there. Trying to see if there's anything else that really sticks out to me. I mean, obviously the Von Erichs are there, Hammerstone, Fatu, Tajiri, Davey, and Duca. So like all the normal names you would assume. Nothing crazy or hokey or anybody really missing that you would expect to be there. So that was the latest announcement that came out from them today. So yeah, that's the news on them. And then we get into, if I can find my banner real quick. Yes, we do. We get to New Japan. New Japan with a couple of things going on. They're doing World Tag League and Best of Super Juniors at the same time. World Tag League Night 2 is going to be Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, the 17th. Night 1, we saw Tanahashi and Yano defeat Evil and Yujiro. Tenzan and Kojima beat Yuji Nagata and Tiger Mask. Naito and Sonata beat Goto and Yoshihashi. Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. beat Suzuki and Taka. And Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens, they beat Great Khan and Hanare. So that was night 1. Night 2, those matchups are Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. against Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. Naito and Sonata against Suzuki-gun, which is Minoru Suzuki and Taka. Hanare and Great Khan against Evil and Yujiro Takahashi. Yano and Hiroshi Tanahashi against Hama and Makabe. And then finally, Kojima and Tenzan against Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. And Tiger Mask and Nagata versus G.O.D., Tonga and Loa. So that's how the night 2 is shaping up. As far as Best of Super Juniors, they just finished night 2. It was actually earlier this morning for us, but it was You get the point. If you get time difference, you fucking know what I'm saying. So here's what we're looking at so far at the table. Through 2 matches, we have Master Wato, Kanemaru, Doki, and Sho at 2-0. So they're at 4 points each. Then we have Taguchi, Hiromu Takahashi, Bushi, and Ishimori all at 2 points. And then Robbie Eagles is 0-2. Yo is 0-2. El Desperado and El Phantasmo are also 0-2 apiece. Listen, you had Robbie Eagles as your junior heavyweight champion, then you have him drop the title, and then you shit on him and make him go 0-2. That makes fucking sense. Nothing makes sense, I guess. Aside from that, so NJPW Strong, they had a series of events this weekend. Notably, Saturday night, they had a show called Battle in the Valley, which was in San Jose, I believe. And they were also running a show last night in Riverside. One omission from last night's Riverside card was Chris Dickinson, who was hurt during his singles match with Minoru Suzuki. They pulled him from the card. It was a shoulder injury. There's no official follow-up that I've heard or seen yet involving the injury. I'm actually going to try to follow up right now and see if I can find anything. Let me see here. I'm actually pulling up Chris's Twitter right now to see if there is anything. And of course, what is typed in here is all in Japanese lettering. That's fucking nice. I don't even know. Oh, here it is. Here's the English translation. Okay. Let me see what we can pull up. Okay. So, all right. I'm just going to try to paraphrase what's going on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. So here's what happened, and this was posted literally 2 hours ago. So he starts off with an apology to the fans of New Japan, but once I get deeper into it, you'll understand that the apology is really not necessary. So here's a direct quote from his second paragraph. That being said, I dislocated my leg out of the rear of my hip socket, and in the process experienced an acetabulum posterior wall fracture. I hope I said that first word right. I will say the process of dealing with the pain of this type of dislocation is unlike anything I've experienced in my lifetime. It's a clean break of one piece about the size of your thumb that needs to be reattached. Otherwise, the femur can easily slip out of place. Hip injuries are generally way worse, and I'm in good hands with highly experienced trauma surgeons that deal with way more extensive injuries brought on by car accidents, motorcycle accidents, etc. I may be getting surgery today depending on a few other way worse automobile-related accidents that came in, but absolutely tomorrow at the latest. Timeline I've been given for recovery is within the range of 6 months. My surgeon just said because of my background and athletic nature, if I do everything right, it could be possible to do it in 5. I give my word I will do my absolute best to return to the ring as fast as humanly possible. Thank you, New Japan. And he went on to continue his thank you. So it's basically a hip dislocation, essentially. I know why I was thinking shoulder, because I was thinking of a different injury that we're going to get to in a little bit. Yeah. So obviously that's not good news for Chris. But I mean, and you can attest to this. I mean, he's kind of a freak. So yeah. It wouldn't shock me if he is faster than the given timetable, but at the same time, I mean, hip's a tricky thing. I mean, you just think of now. It doesn't sound. See, here's the. I'm going to mention a name, but there's a distinct difference between the two that I'll mention in a second. Obviously, when anybody thinks of hip injuries in general, the first athlete that people naturally think of is Bo Jackson. Like, that's the first person people think of. The difference that I'll explain, and then I'll get to you for your comments, JJ. I'm sorry. No, that's fine. The distinct difference, Bo tried doing more physically beyond the day of the injury for months before having it properly diagnosed. Which then secondly led to a blood vessel issue that complicated the nature of the injury even more, and therefore made it more impossible for him to ever be the same type of athlete he was pre-injury. In Chris's case, it's, it happened in ring Saturday. He hasn't done anything physically exerting on that hip since then. He hasn't tried battling through it. He's been immediately evaluated by medical professionals. So in that case, I don't think we see necessarily a noticeable decline for him physically because of this injury. Could it affect him in certain ways in the immediate future? Yes. Long term, though, I think the more he gets used to it and gets more comfortable with just the general feel of the hip afterwards, it sounds like something that he will be fine with once he gets through all the rehab process and stuff.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the Chris injury and just in general, how you think he'll bounce back?
I think he'll bounce back because he's insanely, like, he's a genetic freak. It just really sucks for him because this is a guy who, like, I've said it before and I say it again, and I've been saying it for years, how like every big company has passed on Chris Dickinson and how they shouldn't, because the dude has the look. He can cut a promo like no one's fucking business. And he's a solid fucking worker. And this is like the first injury that I can recall that Chris has had since like I've known him. And like I've been, I've worked with him on and off since like 2012, 2013. So like it just really fucking sucks for him, especially with like everyone just getting like, let go on their ROH contracts. And like granted, he had New Japan to fall back on, but now he doesn't even have that. Like, I'm pretty sure Chris, like, Chris has lived off wrestling. Like, he's made a living off of it. So like, I'm not quite sure about a day job. So shit.
And here's you mentioned him working or having a working relationship with him basically since 2012, 2013 area. Oh. What's intriguing about everything you just said, when you think about Northeast independent wrestling specifically, mm-hmm. One of the companies that sticks out is Beyond Wrestling. Mm-hmm. Well, agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. For years, it felt like he was a guy that was keeping that company name relevant. Mm-hmm. No matter who was coming in and out at any given time. No matter who was coming in for one-time shots and then getting plucked to NXT, or whoever showed up for 6 months and then got plucked to NXT or got plucked to Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. Guys being brought to AEW for whatever. And it's just weird to see that he had been passed for so long and then was just like in the last 18 months, really, like 2 years, really, to kind of get the kind of recognition that he deserved.
And he fucking moved too. He moved from New York to fucking Northern Mass so he could like make that his base of operations a few years ago.
Yeah.
And this sucks so much.
Yeah. So obviously we hope for the best for him. Obviously he says 6 months. Hopefully it's less than that, and we'll definitely hope for the best for him. Also, in New Japan news, and needless to say, this is what you saw coming, because we teased this for a few weeks now, and now it's been made official. As announced today, the winner of Takagi and Okada will wrestle night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom weekend against the self-proclaimed Real World's champion, Will Ospreay. This was something we had discussed numerous times over really the last, I'd say, month or two. So what they did to set this up was at Battle in the Valley, Okada was booked and wrestled. And Ospreay confronted Okada, but whatever. So Ospreay confronted Okada, and he basically challenged Okada. Okada declined. Oh no, I'm sorry. My apologies. He confronted Okada, but for whatever reason, in the promo they had him challenge Takagi, which doesn't make fucking sense because Takagi's on the fucking ring, let alone the fucking continent. Right. But they had him in the promo challenging Takagi. Okada said, "Not so fast. You can challenge me first." Essentially, basically harkening back to the original match booked back in May at Tokyo Dome, which was going to be Ospreay Okada for the title. And except Ospreay, that's when Ospreay got injured and vacated the belt and led into the extra mess that led to that happened with the title afterwards. So that was the basis that they used to lead to this announcement today. So basically, it's going to be Takagi Okada night 1, winner defends against Ospreay night 2. And yeah, so essentially they're trying to Ric Flair the shit out of Will Ospreay here is basically the long story short of it. If you don't understand the Ric Flairing of it, let's go back in the history book, shall we? Because
1991.
I literally was watching this Survivor Series today. So 1991 WWF, as it was called back in the day. Ric Flair left the NWA after a multitude of issues that he had.
They wanted to make him Spartacus.
Yeah, he had a multitude of issues with Jim Herd, who was the basically the Eric Bischoff role at the time. It included wanting to change Rick's gimmick, not wanting to what's the word I'm looking for? To compromise in contract negotiations, and it also had to deal with eventually who he dropped the title to if he did leave. I guess Flair wanted, if I remember the story correctly, it was like Flair wanted to drop to Sting. Sting got hurt. Then he wanted to drop to somebody else, but the office kept pushing for Luger and a whole fucking mess.
Yeah.
And then it eventually led to, and this is where the WWF stuff picks up, they demanded the big gold belt back. Rick said it's technically his property because his deposit was on it. So he said, if you want the belt, give me my fucking deposit. Herd said no, and Flair said, fuck you, I'm keeping the belt, basically. Which led to WCW creating a whole new championship belt as their world title, and Flair keeping the big gold belt. And therefore, when he came to WWF in 1991, he brought the big gold belt to WWF television and proclaimed himself as the real world's champion, as Hogan's walking around as the WWF champion.
Yep.
And then The Undertaker and all that shit, and then eventually the belt's vacated. 92 Royal Rumble happens in my hometown of Albany, New York, by the way. And Ric Flair wins the Rumble to become the official undisputed heavyweight champion of WWF. Which is funny because now that I think about it, that Survivor Series was 30 years ago this month.
Yep.
Circles, baby. Circles. So yeah, that's why I say they're Ric Flairing Ospreay, because Ospreay never technically lost the belt, so he's claiming to be the real champ. Now you get it. If you didn't know that history, there's your lesson for the day. Professor Katie has adjourned class. And the projector screen has gone up. That's what that was.
I'm going to be late for my class that chased you.
Fuck it. Let's see. Anything else? That does it for New Japan from what I see. So let's hop over to one of our favorite WTF topics that isn't AEW. Have you seen how they're booking Turning Point for Las Vegas this weekend in Impact Wrestling?
Nope. Didn't even bother.
All right, so here's what I have right now. So, Impact this past week, their Veterans Day edition of Impact, by the way, it was 11/11. Chris Bay and El Phantasmo defeated Finn Juice to become number one contenders for the World Tag Team titles. So it's basically Bullet Club versus Bullet Club?
Bullet Club versus the Elite.
Yeah, I know. I was being a smartass because I know the Good Brothers aren't technically in the Bullet Club anymore. So Good Brothers versus Chris Bay and El Phantasmo. Or actually, it's going to be... I mean, this is fucking stupid. All right. Let me... Now, this is a real WTF. So, the match is booked as Bay and Phantasmo against the Good Brothers, but in the fucking banner, it's fucking Bay and Haikulia. Well, Hookie Lau. What the fuck are we doing? I'm not kidding either. Literally, the article I'm reading here... The article here says Impact World Tag Team titles will be up for grabs as Good Brothers defending against the Bullet Club at Turning Point. Blah, 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 blah. El Bay and El Phantasmo defeated Finn Juice for the number one contenders match to secure your no.
El Bay. That's going to be a good one.
I literally can't make this shit up. Hang on. I'm going to fucking put this up here.
Lau.
So you heard what I said. I said El Phantasmo and Chris Bay, and this is the fucking banner they show. Like, the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ. I think we already mentioned last week, by the way. It was last week or 2 weeks ago. We were looking at Moose defending the title against Eddie Edwards. I want to say we did discuss that at one point last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Aside from that, there's 3 other matches booked. They just announced over the weekend the Inspiration, Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay. They're defending the women's tag titles against Havoc and Rosemary. Trey Miguel's going to defend the X Division title against Laredo Kid. And Mickie James is defending the Knockouts title against Mercedes Martinez, which I also believe we kind of mentioned last week as well. Yeah, so they have all their belts booked, and then I would assume they'll probably throw on
randomness.
At least 1 or 2, matches of randomness just to fill up the card.
They'll do another Violent by Design versus like Heath and Rhino or some shit, and yeah,
right. They'll figure something out. But yeah, my brain hurts. Okay. So if you look at Impact last week, after the number one contenders match, Josh Alexander asked why he wasn't in the number one contenders match that night. And Scott D'Amore said, well, you got to fight Minoru Suzuki first. I was like, okay, whatever. So basically, we're getting Minoru Suzuki versus Josh Alexander this week on Impact TV.
Yeah,
we're gonna. It's instead of taking that match and pushing it back 48 hours to your pay-per-view, fuck it, we're gonna give you that match on live TV for free.
Well, because it's not live, they taped it 3 weeks ago.
Well, either way, you could have put it on the fucking.
But they had Minoru Suzuki for only that 2-day block, so they didn't want to pay him more to put him on the pay-per-view.
Because fuck it.
Because Suzuki had other shit to do.
Like beat up Caleb with a K in the next segment? Sure. Cool. Okay.
No, I mean he has other shit to do this weekend.
I'm just saying he beat up Caleb with a K in the next segment. That was sorry, that was a bad transition. Anything else really stand out? No. Nothing else really stood out, honestly, from the show. Nothing ever really does usually. We're gonna get Chris Sabin versus Ace Austin at Turning Point.
Oh, it'll be decent.
It looks like. At least Sabin put out the challenge. It's not officially booked yet, but I would assume they're just gonna put on the fucking show. Anything else? No, nothing, because it's fucking Impact and they don't really do anything that's meaningful. So, yeah. Anything else? Yeah. And they just push Suzuki Alexander at the end. That's really it.
Yep.
That's that. That's it. That's it. I'll mention this. Do you know who Eddie Edwards beat to become number one contender this past week? It was a triple threat match. One of the two opponents makes zero fucking sense because of it makes zero fucking sense. So you'll
guessing
understand.
One of them was fucking Morrissey.
Yes, that's why it makes zero fucking sense. Because, like, why? You're not breaking them up. So what's the fucking point? But anyways, yes, that was one of them. I would like to guess the other one.
Rich one.
No, I'll give you a hint. Former WWE star that didn't deserve to be in the match.
Matt Cardona.
Correctamundo! Yay! You want to talk about giving fans a match that you knew the result of right away? Yay!
Listen, Matt Cardona is a former GCW world champion.
He's also the current reigning undisputed internet champion of the world. You think I give two shits about that? No. By the way, he's on the Impact roster, so yeah, we'll keep the Impact WTF banner up for this. Do you fucking know what happened when they went to Detroit this weekend for GCW?
No.
So Cardona had a match, and naturally he had his fiance with him.
Mm-hmm.
Fiance? What? No, they didn't get married yet, so it's still fiance.
Yeah.
So he had his fiance with him, Chelsea Green.
Third shift Cumbies clerk, yeah.
They let some bitch staple an 8x10 Cardona promo pic on Chelsea Green's forehead.
Good. Beta look.
Because fuck it. Why not, right? Wait, what'd you just say about Chelsea Green?
I said good. That made her look better.
Wow. I mean, she does have a big forehead. I'll give you that.
Exactly.
It's a lot of
advertising movie on that shit.
That is some advertisement space right there.
That's right.
Speaking of advertisement space, my friends at Johnstone Supply. I don't know. It sounded like a good transition to me. I don't know if y'all noticed. It's getting brick outside, yo. To dumb it down, it's fucking cold. That's pretty much what I'm saying. So if you haven't turned your heat on, first of all, you're a fucking Eskimo. Good for you. Second of all, you're fucking crazy. So if you're smart and you realize, hey, my heating system needs to be looked at, or hey, I should have upgraded my heating system months ago before the cold weather started coming in. Shit, what am I going to do? It's simple. You give our friends at Johnstone Supply and Troy a call while you can to make your home heated properly for the colder weather that's already come in and will continue to come in and invade us for the next 3 to 5 months. That's right. They've been helping upstate New York residents for decades at Johnstone Supply, so you can visit their store at 6th Avenue in Troy for more information or how they can help you out, whether it's just simply replacing the filters in your furnace or giving you a brand new heating system that will properly heat your home and keep your energy costs down this winter. Because, hey, let's face it, we all want to save money, right? You can talk to George, Tom, any of the other staff members that are already looking forward to seeing you or hearing from you. Give them a call, 518-272-5922, or check them out, their store at 6th Avenue in Troy. And you can also follow them on Facebook, searching Johnstone Supply Troy on the Facebooks. So, that being said, let's just fucking do it. I don't know how much there is to dive into this because honestly, I didn't have a whole lot of discussion before this show or during the course of the week about the All Elite Wrestling jerk-offs. But I know we had Full Gear the other night, and I'm sure there's something he's going to want to talk about from there. JJ, anything from the last 7 days that stuck out to you?
Jesus fuck. Let's start with fucking Rocky Romero saying that Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander and the Best Friends are part of Chaos now. No.
Pockets?
No. No.
Why don't you want
I
pockets?
love Jim to death. No. It's not happening. And they're like, oh, Kazuchika Okada extended the exit. No, because Okada would like record something for that if need be. Like, I could see fucking Trent and shit showing up again in New Japan. I don't see OC going there. I definitely don't see Statlander going there because they don't have a women's division.
Yeah, actually, I think we did discuss this behind the scenes last week. And we were in full agreement. Like, Trent and Chucky would make sense because of their prior history with the company.
Right.
But Orange
and Wheeler Yoda too. He's part of a cast. I was like, no, it's like no. And this whole thing is just a ploy for them to once again try to tease that Okada is coming, and he's not. I got in a fucking debate with this jack off last week about it, where he was just like, blah 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 blah. It's gonna happen. I'm like, they have been teasing Okada in fucking AEW since day one. It's not happening. It's been 2 fucking years. It's not happening. You know, and this is the baseline, but because they're like, oh well, you know, the Forbidden Door and Suzuki came and Hukilau showed up and blah blah blah. I'm going to tell you this right now. New Japan may be shitty at booking right now, but when it comes to business, they are smart. And their top earners, their top fucking breadwinners, Okada, Naito, Tanahashi, Shingo, fucking that top tier, their main event guys, they are never letting them go to another company, no matter what is offered, because they do not want to risk the injury.
Right. Like, I'm just trying to think out loud for a moment here. Just because he's been booked in shows with a sister company of AEW, I'd say Jay White could be a possibility down the road. Just because of the involvement he's had at Impact shows.
Jay White actually came out in an interview this past week and said, fuck no, it's never happening.
Okay, so that shoots that down. Other than that, the only person I could really think of, I'd even say Jeff Cobbs entered that territory where I think he'd be on the do not fly list, if that makes sense.
A few months ago, Jeff Cobbs said AEW has no interest in me.
Right. Despite the fact they had him
They had him for like a cup of coffee, and then they said, fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah, they traded Jeff Cobb for Wardlow. How did that fucking work out?
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what it was. Because if I remember correctly, they had Cobb lined up. I don't know if he was with MJF, but he was like
somewhere in that. Yeah.
Was he with MJF or was he with Jericho originally?
I don't remember.
Because we got to remind ourselves, Jericho was originally like he was the first asshole heel of the company, technically.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to remember if he was. I'll look it up later.
Yeah.
But either way around it, they had Jeff Cobb and they essentially got swapped out for Wardlow. Let's just say New Japan won that trade. So I mean, the only person I'm trying to rack my brain. Because here's the thing, like, once the Elite left New Japan, it was, since then they basically restocked the cupboard with all Japan-based talent. There's no real,
I
mean, you have Eagles, who's from Australia. Well, actually, he's from America now, but is an Australian originally. He's from America now because he's married to Jess McKay. Oops, breaking down the fourth wall. Because the big fucking secret. Have you noticed that, by the way? Oh, that's a big fucking secret. Like, it's not on either of their Wikipedia pages. It's not like literally the first public acknowledgement of Robbie Eagles being Jess McKay's husband was on their fucking podcast randomly one day. Like, that was the first public acknowledgement of it. I'm like, hey, like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know how the fuck they kept that private for so long. Good on them, but like that, like, wow. So you have Robbie. I mean, but see, I think here's the other end of it. I feel like because they're working on establishing their own American brand, that's going to further complicate any chance of AEW booking anyone from New Japan going forward.
Exactly.
Like just thinking of, like, for example, let me just throw out a couple of names for the American brand. Chris Dickinson's going to be off limits.
Right.
Osprey probably off limits.
Mm-hmm.
We were mentioning Cobb. You're sure? I don't know if Kent would ever want to come to America again, let alone come to AEW for a show.
Right. He did that one spot, and that he didn't even do that. Like, he did that one spot, and that was it. And I think that was like a litmus test for them to be like, you know, we don't feel comfortable with this.
Right. Jesus. Yeah, I'm struggling. I can't think of anyone that would make sense at this point.
Right. But, you know, AEW's got to try to tease this because the Forbidden Door, you know, fucking, that shit was played out a week into it. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Like I said, and they pulled that shit with fucking Jay Lethal. Oh, I found the Forbidden Door. No, you found yourself without a contract.
So that's getting ahead of me.
Yeah, I know. Sorry,
but no. But we'll discuss that specifically now, because it makes me bring this question up.
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically speaking, Ring of Honor comes back right after Easter, like April of next year.
Yep.
How far down the road does this AEW contract go, you think?
I think
because there's no predetermined relationship right now between AEW and Ring of Honor. It's strictly just AEW, AAA, and apparently New Japan.
Yeah.
But those are the primary relationships. There's no direct connection right now to Ring of Honor. So
I'm not so sure that they put Lethal under contract.
You think he's just going to come in for a few bookings and then maybe do? Christ, the fuck is their super show first quarter?
Dickinson.
Double or Nothing is their Q2 show. I think Q1 is Revolution.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Q1's Revolution. So maybe he comes in, does a few Dynamites, does their Q1 super card, and then goes back to ROH.
Yeah.
I can see that being sensible. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, why all the pomp and fucking circumstance?
Because Forbidden Door. Because internet. Because Marks.
If it turns out to be a 3-month rental, there's no fucking point to it.
But Marks, dude, they don't understand that. Marks. Internet. Internet's where it's at.
TikTok.
Get some of that
TikTok.
Internet money.
TikTok.
Give us some of that internet money. That's what it is. Canada wants more money.
I mean, if Jay was that strapped for cash,
he's not. But I guarantee Tony Khan threw cash at him, and he went, fuck it.
I mean,
I love Jay to death, and I know Jay is smart. Jay's like, fuck it. This dumbass wants to give me money. I'll take money.
Why not just fucking go to Atlanta with Jonathan Gresham and help him with the fucking thing he's doing down there in January?
Because Tony Khan probably offered him a stupid amount of money.
Oh, fuck you, Tony. Jesus Christ. Tony is making the wrestling world make less sense to me.
Of course. Booker of the Year, baby.
By the way, speaking of Booker of the Year, I think you brought my attention to this tweet.
Please watch our show.
This is from the afternoon. Yes, this is from last Wednesday afternoon. So this is literally 5 hours before going on air. Tony Khan tweets, and for those of you not watching the YouTube version of the show, first of all, you should, because if you think we sound fucking ridiculous, we look just as ridiculous as you think we sound. Secondly, here's the quote. Here's the tweet, quote, with hours until hashtag AEW Dynamite goes live tonight on TNT. As a wrestling fan myself, I have a request for you fellow fans. This is a huge week for at AEW, and tonight's a great night to try to hook a friend into watching AEW with you. Please consider spreading your love of wrestling today. Although it should have said tonight because the show was at night, but whatever. So basically, this is the owner of a professional a national wrestling entity going onto the social media space and saying, please watch my show. I don't recall last time Paul or Vince did that.
Or Scott D'Amore or Billy Corgan, for that matter.
Well,
or Court Bauer.
Scott's demoralized himself in different ways. Like, you know, appearing at AEW.
Please watch my show.
Man,
and they still didn't crack $1 million.
Yeah.
Go home show for one of your big quarterly pay-per-views. Still don't crack $1 million. But you know, but it's okay because they had, you know, an ROH mid-card match from 2006 to open a show, and then
that'll be Danielson Romero.
And then second from the top, they had an NXT match from 2013.
Wait, Pac Andrade?
Pac and Harwood.
Oh, right. I forgot Harwood faced Pac. That's right.
Literally one of Scott Dawson's first televised NXT matches was against fucking Adrian Neville. 2013.
Oof. Rough. Was that NXT champion Adrian Neville or on his way to NXT?
This was just prior to NXT tag team champion Adrian Neville.
Oh, so this was...
he was tagging with Oliver Gray.
This was young. Wow.
Yeah. This was when Scott Dawson had no gimmick and they just stuck him with Alexander LaForte.
So this is pre-WWE ruining Adrian Neville.
Yeah. This is like Hulu Plus.
Oh, NXT. Jesus.
Yeah.
This is Big E World Champ. This is Big E NXT Champion NXT.
Yes, exactly.
Well, no, it was...
No, Big E
was NXT by then, yeah.
Yeah,
because Seth was the first champ, and then he dropped to E. That's right. Okay.
Yep.
Right. I was going to say FCW, but I had to remind myself that Seth was the first champ and then dropped it to Big E because Seth, if I remember correctly, Seth had been called up.
Yeah.
And ended up
to come back down.
I think he wrestled in his Shield gimmick, actually.
Yep.
And lost the title.
Yep.
Which is... If they did that nowadays, well, actually they have been doing it nowadays because they had Cross come up and then he dropped the bell and then they fired him. Anyways, that's so wrong, but it's the truth. I'm trying to think if there's anything else worthwhile before we get into Full Gear. As I scroll through PW Insider, nothing really. So we'll get into. What are you talking about? What's the terrible women's match you're talking about? First of all, was it on Dynamite?
Yeah, probably. It was.
Oh, you got it in your notes. Oh, Jesus, he's got notes.
I remember when I messaged you about. I'm tired.
Folks, he's got notes. Oh, hater! I mentioned. You mentioned. I remember you saying the flabby ass comment. Yes.
Keep name dropping Okada. What the fuck is? Oh, yes. No. The big spot. That I messaged you. I was like, remember the really bad snafu with the Dark Order way early on? Like, remember when fucking Dark Order, like the video came out of the dude like fake punching Dustin, and like everyone zoomed in on it?
Oh yeah. The America's Top Team Inner Circle
Yes.
segment. Yes.
Yes, the dude giving the forearms to Did you watch that?
No, I did not get to see it.
Dude, so fucking bad.
Okay, was it a bald guy doing it?
Don't know. He had hair. So I'm
if he had hair, then it was Andre Orlovsky.
Yeah, so it was Orlovsky. Literally, Jericho goes down, and Orlovsky is throwing forearms like this far away from Jericho. Jericho purposely puts his hand up, and you see him mouth the words, "Make connection with my hand," and he still didn't. They're like, and they kept the camera on it. I was like, you fucking idiots.
At least Dos Santos would have made it look better. Oh, God. Oh, Andre. Because now I pulled up my notes from our Facebook Messenger chat here. You mentioned that. We just mentioned that. Then you mentioned Jamie Hayter and not liking to see her on TV.
We're not sports entertainment, but our main event is a contract signing.
With Juice. Yep. Because every good contract signing needs a sneak attack and Juice. But can I all right, look. I'm going to ask for something right now. And I don't think you're going to like what I'm going to ask for. But I'm going to ask for it anyways. Mm-hmm. Can we please keep Don Callis off of television?
Oh, God, please.
Because let me put it this way. Don was not entertaining in WWF. Don was an asshole, but he was an effective asshole in ECW.
Yeah.
Don in AEW has gotten to be too much.
Oh, yes. I agree.
Now, it helps that Kenny has since dropped both the Impact and AEW titles.
For now.
But I can't. They did the fake cameraman thing with Don, if you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Where he was dressed up like an AEW cameraman in the ring and then attacked he attacked Hangman at the end of the contract signing to go off the air.
And you saw the fix was in on that for two reasons. One, there was one too many cameramen in the ring to begin the segment. And two, Callis kept missing his mark and kept getting in front of the other cameraman.
Any Hooser. What else? Oh, I'll bring this up because it's the next note that I see that I want to bring up. Mm-hmm. So, if I remember correctly, I'm trying to control my anger when I bring this up.
Fuck it, let it go.
Hey, Mr. Rhodes.
Ha! You're not the Shield.
Thank you. Oh, there. Thank you. I'll let you have that one.
Literally, you're like, fucking Cody thinks he's the Shield.
But here's the thing. It's not even just that irritates me. That's not even the thing that irritates me the most about it. You know what irritates me the most? What logistically makes sense if you're trying to stop an in-ring attack?
I'm going to come from the concession stand on the third tier.
Right. Like, were you busy getting a popcorn and nachos for your recently pregnant wife? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, am I missing something here? Like, does that make any sense at all? Like, unless you specifically are the Shield, which is no longer, anyone coming from the concourse makes 0 sense in any wrestling company right now.
And he was dressed as the fucking Shield.
Oh, I think it's stupid. It's fucking stupid. Like, I'll even go as far as to say this, okay? Given how everyone's gimmick in 2021 professional wrestling is right now, there are only 2 men. Realistically, I could say, yeah, it makes sense they're coming from there. There are only 2 guys that could come from somewhere other than down the fucking entranceway, and I'd be like, that makes sense because they're fucking weird like that. Eddie and John Moxley. That's it.
Yeah.
Those are the only fucking 2.
Yeah.
Like, why? 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 Fucking why? Unless you're in a faction, you're coming from all sides. But when they're coming from all sides, they're not coming down the fucking concourse steps.
Yep.
They're coming from the fucking entrances on the fucking main level.
Yeah.
Stupid motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to babysitting your kid.
A few minutes prior to that, I still had a couple other notes about the fucking what do you call it? The Pac Dax fucking match. One thing I want to point out is, seriously, this is why you guys will always be viewed as super indie bullshit. The fucking spot where Pac gave fucking Dax Hardwood a fucking top rope brain buster, and it was a transitional move. That should have been the fucking finish. Like anywhere else, that would have been any indie show, that would have been a fucking finish. But no, that was the halfway point. And then the finish was completely fucking botched because they were running short on time. If you noticed, the moment Pac put the fucking Rings of Saturn on Harwood, he hadn't started tapping yet, and the ref was calling for the bell, and the bell was ringing, and then Dax was like, oh shit, and starts tapping. Like, talk about a major fucking botch.
Cause lulz. I know this is completely off topic, but it's in sequential order of our Facebook chat.
Mm-hmm.
Should we tell your wife you have a new crush, maybe?
Huh?
the thirst trap photo you sent me?
Oh, that wasn't a thirst trap photo. I was just like, I told you, OnlyFans is coming.
For those, none of you are getting the reference right now because only him and I know the photo. Go look up Nia Jax's Instagram.
Yep.
You'll see what we mean. Yeah, just wow. What else? What else? Okay, so that's it. Let's get to Full Gear. Starting from the top, make it drop. That's some WAP. At least that's what opened the show. Sheeta and Thunder Rosa, dark match against Hayter and Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
Sheeta and Thunder Rosa get the pin. Yeah, okay. MJF beats Darby to open the show. They gave, oh, Jesus, fuck me. You gotta be kidding me. Now, I'm sure MJF made it look good. They let them go 20?
Yep.
Oh, my
20 minutes for the opener. MJF wins because, I mean, like, it's...
Why wouldn't he?
Right, they're trying to build MJF up as, like, the top heel in the company, but at the same time, like he, like, fucking...
He's facing a wet paper bag.
Right. Like, Darby is already fucking damaged goods. Like, when's the last time Darby, like, won a feud of merit? Sure. Like, when he won the TNT title? Ever since then, everyone's like, Darby's the heart and soul of this company. He's the heart and soul of the company that always fucking loses.
Well, would we consider him having won? Because I don't remember how it ended technically, so bear with me. Everything that happened with Men of the Year, or not Men of the Year? Yeah, Men of the Year. Paige and Scorpio.
I feel like that was more Darby and Sting. And that's
that's what I mean.
Is like
He needs Sting to win.
Darby doesn't stand on his own.
He's a 60-year-old to fucking win.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's horrible. Oh man. Oh Darby, I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Well, yeah, I know. All right. After that, we had Lucha Brothers successfully defend the tag titles against FTR. Yeah, okay. And the thing is, they're gonna fucking face each other again in a couple weeks because AAA's already booked FTR versus Lucha Brothers for
Triple Mania Dose or whatever the fuck it is.
I want to say it's December. Fuck me. Must be December 3rd or some shit like that. I can't remember off the top of my head.
And it's literally called like Triple Two Mania or something, right?
I honestly don't recall. I'm gonna try to find the. I saw the graphic tweeted. I just can't remember who tweeted it. I want to say, I thought it was Dax. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. But I know I did see it. Anyways, yeah, that's just. I don't know. It's a mess.
Yeah.
Did you get to see the match at all?
No.
Okay. I still can't. Yeah, I can't find it. But anywho's, basically they've already the rematch has already been booked for a few weeks from now. Yeah. Then we got the finals of the World Championship Eliminator Tournament. Bryan Danielson makes Miro submit. So we've gone from Miro losing the TNT title to now he's submitting.
Yep. Miro's unstoppable unless we say lols.
And he gets a lot of DDTs.
Yes.
Because apparently that's a thing.
And like, oh boy, look, your fucking number one contenders match is a WWE match.
Essentially, yeah. Next, 6-man Falls Count Anywhere match. Cage and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus against Super Click. Christian and Jurassic Express won it.
After so much stupid fuckery.
Do you want to bring up the spot that you didn't like, or should I?
What? No, I hate the fact that I have to say which one at this point, because we all know that they did the fucking thumbtacks in the mouth spot for the third fucking time in a year. But that's also
the one I was referring to.
You didn't see the other stupid one where they did the 3-way BTE trigger with spiked knee pads.
Come again with the last part of it?
You know how they did the shoe with the thumbtacks? They did knee pads with the thumbtacks, and they did a 3-way BTE trigger on fucking Jungle Boy with the spiked knee pads, and that wasn't the finish.
So Jungle Boy is their Mikey Whipwreck,
basically.
And if you don't know who Mike Whipwreck is, first of all, shame the fuck on you. Second of all, go Google. Google and YouTube and WWE Network, honestly, too.
Yeah.
Jesus. I'm not even going to bother commenting. I'm just going to move on. And then we got
it's okay because they didn't win. So.
And then we got Dashing Cody Rhodes and Adrian Neville against Aleister Black and I'm sorry. We got Cody Rhodes and Pac. We got Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. Sorry,
another WWE match.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself because I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
And Cody wins lol.
Yeah, basically. Although I saw some people saying, "Oh my God, House of Black is forming." Oh my God, like,
no,
did I miss something?
It's because he's been teasing the House of Black, but then people are like, "Oh, it's going to be him and Bray Wyatt and Brody King." And blah, blah. No, it's not.
He's been talking about House of Black since he fucking showed up.
Exactly.
Suck a dick. God. Anyways, after that, we had...
I
go
did
ahead.
see one thing. A friend of mine commented. They said it's a really strange dichotomy during that match of seeing people chanting AEW and then automatically booing Cody like half a second later when he gets tagged in.
That is very interesting. The next match was your second least favorite women's champion in the world, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She defeated Ty Conti by pinfall to retain the title. Do you want to guess who I think is your least favorite women's champion right now?
Yeah, I'd like to know.
I was going to say Mandy Rose.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You had to struggle for a second. You're like, no, I'm right. No, he's right. Yeah. Oh, good to know I know you very well.
At least I know Britt Baker's got a title because she's fucking Adam Cole. Like, Mandy Rose isn't fucking anyone, and they just put a belt on her.
She got the belt before she fucked that. Well,
no.
Hold on, rewind. Didn't she win the title before Adam Cole showed up?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. She was still fucking him, and Adam Cole's best buddies with the fucking young fucks.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, fine, whatever. Punk beat Kingston and fucked up his shoulder in the middle of the match. That's nice.
And supposedly Punk was getting booed near the end.
By the way, I just noticed this. They gave the Super Click, Cage, and Jurassic Express 20 minutes plus.
Yep. Got to get them spots in, bruh.
But we gave Punk and Eddie 10.
Yep. Because the extra 10 minutes needed to go. And the fucking whole pay-per-view still went till fucking midnight.
That I did notice. I'm following on Twitter and I'm seeing tweets about it at fucking midnight. Really?
Yeah.
But
no, dude, I saw so many people that were like,
let's look at the timing. Okay. Okay. So, first off, okay, when you book a show, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but considering I've been around enough bookers over the time, I think I get the logic here. Bookers typically, there's 3 formulas to booking. There's 2 correct ways and a supremely incorrect way. Correct way number 1, you start slow and build through the entire show with like 6-minute matches up your way to your main event, which should be the most. Correct option 2, you start hot with a damn good match. Cool. You spike in the middle, cool again, spike at the end.
Right, that's the roller coaster method.
Incorrect way is saying, fuck it! And that's what they're doing. Because 3 of your first 4 matches are 20 plus.
Yep.
And 2 of them don't fucking deserve it.
Yep.
Like, can somebody tell me how MJF Darby deserved 20?
I would have given them 15 with entrances.
Can somebody tell me how Cage, Jurassic Express, and Super Click deserved 22 and a half?
I would have given them 12 flat because if it's a no DQ match, then entrances shouldn't even be a factor in it.
Now, I'll give you Danielson and Miro because it's a world title eliminator final. I can live with that being 20. Even that, though, seemed like a bit much just looking at it.
Yeah.
15, ideally. And then, really, your first 4 were all 20. Because FTR and Lucha Brothers were 18 and a half.
Mm-hmm. And that's not counting the entrances. Yeah. And I just like to talk about Punk and Eddie for a second. Which, by
the way, was the only match under 15 minutes the entire night.
Right. Number 1, I need to address every fucking idiot on the internet that thinks that, like, this is something new. And that fucking, like, when I said, like, Jersey All-Pro called and they want their match back, like, this is not the first time Punk and Kingston have crossed paths. Number 2, the build for this was fucking stupid in that they did a vignette on Dynamite where fucking Excalibur was like, oh yeah, but in 2006, what do you call it? Or like, what was it? No, he say in 2006, CM Punk was a made man in the Indies, and Eddie Kingston was carrying people's bags. Yeah, no, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
You're fucking so fucking wrong. It is fucking unbelievable. And number 3, I love people like, this is a clash of styles because Eddie Kingston's a brawler. No, he's not. I've worked with Eddie. Eddie is the closest thing the Indies will ever see to a Terry Funk. And Eddie would probably look at me and slap me going, don't fucking put me on that high of a pedestal. But it's the truth. And for anyone that goes like, Eddie can't wrestle, blah, 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 blah. And I said it to some motherfucker the other day. I'm like, oh, look, someone's never seen anything he's done prior to 2018, and it fucking shows.
Oh, man.
Of course, that dude was also a fucking QAnon who was anti-vax, so fuck him.
And there were still 2 more matches to go.
Uh-huh.
Minneapolis street fight, because there wasn't enough crazy shit to begin with. The Inner Circle versus Men of the Year and ATT, including Dan Lambert. Why the fuck is Dan Lambert getting in a ring? And why the fuck is he powerbombing Jericho through a table?
Okay, so the story of that was that on the episode of Dynamite with the really shitty attack, because Sammy had won the match the week before, the Inner Circle
got to name the 5th member. I know.
Yeah, they got to choose all the members, and Dan Lambert shot his mouth off in a promo saying he was the original America's Top Team member. So Jericho went, "You're in it," because lols. And then fucking, so they do this bullshit, and like, yeah, and that's the thing is Dan Lambert said that because Dan Lambert put Jericho in the fucking walls of Jericho on Dynamite, and he said that at the pay-per-view he was going to put Jericho through a table. So we got to live up to what we say. A heel's got to do what he says in a promo at the blow-off. That it wouldn't make sense if the heel didn't get to do what he said he was going to do.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Yes, it fucking would. You know how many times heels told Undertaker they weren't scared of going in the casket, and then they saw the fucking casket?
Stop using logic, dude.
How did they react? They almost shit their brains out. The best. Completely off topic, by the way. Completely off fucking topic. But since I mentioned it, the best, the 2 best reactions I'll ever, like, I mean, you might say I'm wrong and can think of another one. The 2 people with the best reactions to Undertaker's caskets, the original one, Kamala, like, just fucking amazing, and fucking Yoko. Oh my God. Sorry, that went way into left field, but it just, I don't know. That was the first thing I fucking thought of when you just said that. I'm like, oh my God. Oh. And then finally, your main event of the evening. Going 25 minutes and 35 seconds. And new.
For now.
Hangman Page did what we weren't sure was going to happen and took the belt off Kenny. With, by the way, with an affirmation from Matt Jackson to go ahead and fucking win. Because we gotta suck one of the Jackson's dicks at this point in this match, because, it's the Elite. Fuck it.
I'm going to tell you right now where all this is going. So number 1.
I think I know what you're going to say.
So number 1, the only reason they put the title on Page was because of that stupid fucking internet meme with the dude who made the convoluted long-term story gimmick. Because they didn't think of that.
Jeez,
they didn't think of that. They didn't think of that. That was some dude doing the Charlie Day Always Sunny fucking conspiracy board to get it to that point. And then the thing was, the moment that blow off was supposed to happen, Paige went on paternity leave, which is the dumbest fucking, like, I agree with paternity leave. I think it should be offered. However,
when you work one day a fucking week.
When you work one day a fucking week, fuck off. Like, no, fuck off, dude. You're like, you were about to get like this push in the company, and you're like, I'm gonna go home.
And wasn't that, what was that, like July?
Yeah.
July, August, something like that?
It was like August. Yeah, August-ish.
No, I think it was. Oh, it was August, because July, I remember, I want to say Kenny beat Jungle Boy?
Yeah.
At All Out?
It was Jungle Boy and then Christian. Like, it was like treading water defenses.
And then Hangman was supposed to be next or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was August. Yeah.
Hangman was supposed to start becoming number one contender while the build the Jungle Boy was happening.
He was number one contender.
Right, exactly.
And then they said, fuck you, you're not going on leave with the belt, so he lost.
Right.
He lost the match.
Yeah, and the whole thing where like the Dark Order shit and all that. Yeah. Yeah. So the only reason they put the fucking belt on him was because internet lols. Because the internet said this, so we have to make good on it because we cater to the internet. And the internet is a big source of money for us.
And internet.
And fucking we want more money. And we
TikTok.
want some of the internet money. Chocolate Rain.
Snapchat.
And the face space.
Periscope. Tout.
Oh God. 6 degrees. Anyways.
That was for you. That was for you, the tout.
Fucking tout. Fine. Anyways, so they did that for that specific reason. And I guarantee you that this is not long term. I guarantee you that come whatever their like New Year's show is, or they keep fucking touting the Battle of the Belts or whatever, that Paige is going to drop the title back to Omega. Go ahead.
Their options. I'm not saying they're the best options, but I've got a weird gut feeling. The one thing that would be intriguing, would create a clusterfuck, but would be intriguing, is given the dynamic of Hangman approaching the Bucks privately on Dynamite before Full Gear and saying, I'm cool if you're cool, we're even, but don't get involved in the fucking match. And they didn't. And then the Matt Jackson affirmation before the lariat fucking the fuck is he called it? Buckshot. Thank you. Again, this is way too above Tony Khan's pay grade.
Oh, very.
If you wanted to double switch Kenny and Hangman's roles, lead it to a falling out of Omega from the Elite and them embracing Hangman back in. Again, that's above their pay grade, so I'm not expecting it to happen, but that was the first thing I thought of. The second thing I thought of was the Bucks being nicey nice to Hangman to where he thinks he's reuniting with them, and they say, fuck you, baby!
Right, because this is what's going to happen. I'm telling you, this is what I have. And
I meant Adam Cole, by the way. That did not mean that Omega comes back.
I have seen this before. I have seen it before. So we watched last night. Number two, the other reason they did it was because they had to send the fucking pay-per-view crowd home happy because the top heel has won the last 2 quarterly pay-per-views. So you eventually once a year need to send the crowd home happy.
Correct.
So now this is what we have here. We have something where they have been setting up too much for fucking Danielson and Omega 2. They have been building too much for CM Punk to finally want the fucking title. And I said this on here, and I've said it to other people. Mark my fucking words that the fucking main event of fucking, what do you call it? Their Q2 pay-per-view next year.
Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. Because I don't think they're going to wait till All Out. Is going to be a 3-way fucking match for the fucking title that's going to be Omega, Punk, and Danielson. Now, the reasoning is because we're just going to...
By the way, I was correct. Revolution is their Q1 pay-per-view.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if it's been booked yet. No, it hasn't been booked yet, but that's their Q1.
Right. Let's just look at this from a rating standpoint. They have not been getting bumps in the ratings unless they fucking bring in another WWE guy. And obviously with their bloated fucking roster, they really can't fucking afford to do that anymore. I mean, they can afford to do it, but as far as creative wise, they can't afford to do it. Number two, you're going to be transferring at the beginning of the new year to a different network. And you want eyes on the product and you want a recognizable name. Now, Adam Page is not a recognizable name, but in his own fucking universe, Kenny Omega is.
I mean,
so, and now I'll get back around.
I'm not going to fight you on that, but
now I'm going to get back around to saying I've seen this before. We just watched a pay-per-view where the big bad evil empire heel stable lost both their key matches. And so now you begin to think maybe there's dissension in there. Maybe they're finally going to go away. Maybe it's time for the new uprising of the new baby faces. Everything is going to be a new regime in the great society. And then you know what happens? Finger poke of doom. That's what happens.
Now, the finger
I guarantee
that's an extreme example.
Right, but I'm saying I've seen it in shittily booked places before where it looks like the big bad heel stable is gone. And then the next fucking show, the next big event, they go, by the way, double cross on the big baby face. We're back bigger than ever. We're taking all the fucking belts again because this is our world and you all live in it. And if there was ever a fucking prime fucking example of Kenny and the fucking Bucks, it's that. Like, even Jeff Jarrett took a step down at times. But these motherfuckers are like, oh, see, the fans think we lost, so we don't look strong right now. No, fuck you. No, because I guarantee you going forward, because they're going to introduce a trios title, and the finals of that are going to be fucking Super Click versus fucking Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Christian again. And that time, Super Click's going to win, and they're going to have belts, and Kenny's going to get the fucking heavyweight title back because they think that there's more money in Kenny versus Bryan Danielson than there is in Adam Page versus Bryan Danielson or Adam Page versus MJF. This is the whole mentality of we're the center of the universe, and if it's not us or an ex-WWE main eventer, no one in this company is drawing money. Oh, also, they did it to spite Jim Cornette. Because Cornette went off on an entire thing about how the bloom is off the rose with Hangman Page, and to put the title on him right now would be stupid.
So, first sidebar I'm going to add before I get knee deep into that. So let's just admit that basically booking works around, at least the super shows. Booking works around WWE cards and UFC cards. Let's just be blunt about it. So if my math is correct, as of right now, UFC has logistically plotted out everything through the end of November, with their last super card being the middle of February, which means they're not going to book a super card less than 4 weeks after that. Which means the first Saturday of March 5th, is more than likely the date you're going to have for Revolution. Plus, WWE doesn't have a pay-per-view booked from between Rumble and Mania right now, and odds are that would be booked probably end of February, I would guess, because that's usually what they do. They'll probably do like February 23rd, 24th-ish area, which then gives 2 weeks gap to the March 5th date. Anyways, that's one. Two, while I was working out that math, I was listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
I understand everything you're saying, but I want to throw out one name that needs to be discussed in some shape, way, or form in the midst of everything. And it's a name that you brought up as being pushed to a certain position within the company. Where the fuck does MJF fit into everything the next 12 months? Because we can't sit here and act like this kid hasn't done enough to be put into a championship position at some point. The TNT title, fuck off. The tag titles, suck a dick. It has to be the world title picture somewhere, somehow.
Right.
So the question becomes, when do we stop sucking the elite's dicks and say, you know what? This kid, we need to do something with him before he says, fuck you, and goes to fucking Stanford. Like, when does that happen? When does that fucking happen?
Ideally, after they put their title on Danielson. Unfortunately, it's going to be too late. I'm lost, man. Like, I'm lost. Like if we're going to go with your timeline, I think Kenny would be willing to step aside for Adam. If that's the direction they want to go. I think he'd be willing to step aside and have it go. And I didn't mean Adam Page, by the way. I meant Adam Cole. I think if we're going to use the timeline you're thinking they're going to go, I could see it just makes sense to me to go Page, Cole, Danielson, Page, Cole, Punk, whatever the fuck they decide to do. Like, I get that based on the sucking dicks. But it's okay. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna say what's been bugging me because it has to be said, and I'm hoping you're going to agree with me when I say this, but I feel like it has to be said. There are certain talents that sometimes, this actually brings back The Undertaker in my mind again with this. There are some talents that you can book, and as long as you book them properly and intelligently, they don't fucking need to be in the title picture. Right.
You would think Danielson was one of those.
Yeah.
Punk so far has been one of those. Regardless of what you think about his star power or whatever. Punk's in that category right now. They've essentially kept Tommy, Malachi Black, in that category right now because of all the shit with Cody.
Yeah.
They've kind of done the same so far with Andrade. They're guys with name recognition from international experience that don't need it. You could potentially put them into it, but right now they don't fucking need it because you can still work with the marquee that they have built up from past.
Yeah.
So why does Tony have such a fucking hard-on for wanting to have Danielson so quick?
Because to beat out Vince. Because
there's nothing to beat him out for. He's already signed a contract with him.
But no, because Tony is a mark. And Tony wants to be like, oh, look, Vince squandered Bryan Danielson and didn't put the title on.
He was world champ for almost a year in his last recent run. He fucking was the champ for so long, they changed the look of the title for him. They gave him an eco-friendly looking belt.
I know.
Like, what the fuck do you mean?
But that also wasn't the main event of Mania that year.
in the minds of every African American who loves wrestling, it was.
Let's go a little far. But I mean, and nothing to take away from, but it's so. And this before on here, and up until the Fox deal, it has always been considered that the big title in WWE, the most prestigious title, is the one on Raw.
I know.
That changed after the Fox deal. So when Danielson was champion, he was on the B show. When he won under the undisputed title, he dropped it a month later, 2 months later, because he vacated. But still, so this is Tony Khan going, you put Bryan Danielson in your fucking main event of WrestleMania and had him get beat by fucking Roman Reigns. And I hate Roman Reigns because I hate WWE style. So come April of this year or May or whatever, I'm going to put my title on Bryan Danielson because I'm Booker of the Year.
That's probably going to be Memorial Day weekend, by the way.
Tony Khan is a child.
You know what? I'm gonna all right. Okay, hear me out on this. Here's what we're gonna do. Here is what we as a collective are going to do, because I fucking know we have wrestling fans at Godzilla Media, and I fucking know we have passionate wrestling fans who listen to and watch our podcast. And first of all, thank you very the fuck much. Second of all, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a GoFundMe. And what are we going to use the GoFundMe for? We're going to find a way to buy a majority share of this fucking company and put somebody with half a fucking wrestling brain in the seat of the pencil like JJ Alexander, so we can get some logic out of this shit.
But they're not publicly traded.
Just buy majority stake ownership out of the Khan family. We can work it out.
Bruh.
We'll figure it out. I got friends who run shit around here. We'll figure it out.
You know how much money we would need for that? These motherfuckers own countries.
Okay, hold on.
I'd be lucky to buy Staten Island.
No, hold on. We're gonna fucking figure this out right now. Hang on. Hang the fuck on. Okay. I'm gonna fucking make this make sense. Hang on. Okay. So Tony Khan. This is Tony, not his father. Tony. He is an executive with, aside from AEW, he's also an executive with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Fulham FC in European soccer. His father.
Yeah.
Okay. His father is also co-owner and all that. Okay. So here's what I'm going to try to figure out. Okay. So your key executives, obviously. Okay. Well, fuck. Okay. The only two people listed as having any ownership stake in the company are Tony and his father. Fuck them. We'll just buy the whole fucking thing. It's already figured out. It's done. It's finished. We got it. We're good.
Dude, I've been trying to put together fucking 10 grand for a wedding, and you're like, I'm gonna buy AEW.
Hold on. I'm going to figure this out right now. Hang on. No. I am going to find out the net worth of this company. It can't be more than $100 grand the way they book. Hold on.
They're in the red. Because all their money they got from TNT went into the video game division, which hasn't produced anything.
Oh, dude, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Okay, so AEW's net worth, based on their YouTube advertising revenue, is somewhere between $4 to $5 million. That's pennies these days, okay? Now
you have to factor in everyone's contracts.
Hang on here. Hang on. All right, so let's be let's hold on. We're gonna figure this the fuck out here. Hang on, okay? We're gonna make this happen. So let's just so I'm gonna write this shit down. I'll even go on the higher end of that. Let's just say all right, so AEW. Tom Goss, you better be fucking listening to this as you're editing and all that shit, because we're gonna fucking make this happen. We're gonna buy AEW right now. So we're gonna say $5 million on the YouTube side, all right? So let's see AEW TV. What is it? Their TV contract. We're just gonna figure out how much this fucking thing is worth. Okay. All right. I'm gonna fucking figure this out. I'm telling you. They never draw 1 million viewers, so it can't be much. I mean, Jesus. All right, so let me go to the article where they extended their deal through 2023. Did they really not put a dollar number on this shit?
Probably.
Who doesn't put a dollar number on a press release?
The cons.
Talk about not putting. Okay, AEW receiving huge money. Maybe this will help me. Listen, this is gonna be figured the fuck out, because then you also got to factor in. I don't know if there's any such thing as monetization through Twitter right now, but I'll put Twitter as a category and leave it blank right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. So then we got TV deal. Then we have. Would they have a contract directly with Fight TV for their super shows?
I have no clue.
Well, we can put down Fight TV and leave that blank. What else? Oh, talent, which is significantly lacking in the company, but we'll write that down as a category. How did I go from liking this company? How did I go from liking this company 2 months ago to now wanting to buy it? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I
have poisoned your mind. That's
Let's
good.
See
Let
here.
the anger flow through you.
Okay, so details of the financial terms. Okay, so all right. So this is as of May, so bear with me. But details of the financial terms of the extended deal had not been revealed yet. However, Warriors AEW were receiving an 8-figure payday from their extended deal, which, Jesus, way to be a fucking vague asshole. The writer said somewhere between 10 million and just under 100 million. Gee, you think? Fucking retard. Sources revealed. All right, so the original okay. All right, so when they originally extended Dynamite in January of 2020 to go through at the end of 2023, it was reported 4 years and 175 million. So if you buy, would we be buying the entirety of the remaining contract then? I'd assume. All right, so they've done 2 years, so shave off half of that. That's what, 85 million-ish?
88
right?
Million.
All right, you're being fucking technical. All right, so we got 88.5, if we're going to be real fucking technical here, 88.5 mil, plus whatever the fuck they're going to get paid for Rampage, because they are going to 2 different TV networks eventually.
No, they're both going to TBS, I thought.
I thought they were keeping one on TNT and moving one to TBS.
No, I thought they were both moving to TBS.
That's for another topic another day. Well, actually, it's... All right. So we'll have to figure out what the fuck that was.
It doesn't matter. It's all Time Warner.
All right. So we have the initial extension. That was 88.5 mil in January, and that'll figure out what the May end of it is. So figure that. And then what did we say? There was like 100, 120 talents roughly?
Yeah.
Ish. So...
That's a lot of money there. You know, even Joey Janela is making $100,000 a year.
All right, so let's go by this. Let's say, because we're gonna balance this out. Let's say we're gonna do 50, 30, 20. Okay. This is gonna make a whole. We're gonna base it off the number of 100 talents. Okay, because we'll deal with the plus and minus and balance it out later. So we're going to do the 50, 30, 20 method. We're going to do 50 baseline, which we'll call 100 grand because you say Joey.
Okay.
Then we'll call 30 at 500.
Sure.
And then 20 at a mil.
No, there's more than Mel. Moxley's getting 6. You know Danielson's getting at least 10. You know Punk's getting at least 15. Black's probably getting $1 million. Andrade's probably getting $1 million. Pac's probably getting $1 million.
All right, so we'll add some upper tiers at the end.
Jericho's
right.
probably getting 5.
So 50, let's do this. 50 times 100 grand. That's 5 mil. Okay.
Yeah.
30 times 500 grand is 15 mil. I could have done that in my head without using my fucking calculator. And then we're going to say 20 at $1 million. That's 20 million. Gee, I wonder how I did that math. And then let's just say there's we'll just call it 10 at 5 million each. Because there's probably less than 10 guys making that much, but it'll balance out eventually. So let's just call that another 50. So that's 50, 70, 85. That's 90 million. So you're telling me without factoring in any potential monetization from Twitter or any contract directly with Fight TV, we're looking at 90 plus 95. So we're looking at about $186 million. No big deal. We got this. We got this. No problem. I know some people who run banks. We got this. We're good. We're good.
I ain't taking out that loan.
Neither am I. You don't want to see my credit. Anyways,
Go to Mohawk Honda. They'll help you out.
yeah, hey, look at you. Hey now. All right. God, it's been almost 2 hours. We haven't touched WWE. Okay, let's get into it.
That's all right. Neither's the creative team.
Excuse me. All right, so there's 2 topics I want to bring up before we get into Survivor Series preview, because that's this coming weekend.
Uh-huh.
Number 1, War Games officially announced for December 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just assume they're going for a men's match and a women's match like they have recently.
Yeah.
The women's match to me is so blatantly fucking obvious it's not even funny.
Yeah.
It's Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai versus Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, and then probably Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter.
Yeah.
Men's match, we were kind of throwing around a little bit, but I think in the end what we came up with was old versus new.
Yeah.
So the new, the assumption would be Braun,
Mm-hmm.
Mello.
Yep. Trick.
I would assume Trick.
Yeah.
Who was the other new guy we thought of?
Shit.
Because they really want to fuck shit up. I could throw a name out there, but I don't think you'd like it because it'd be way too quick, way too soon, I think. Solo.
Maybe.
Solo Sikoa.
I could see maybe.
And then the old school team, we were thinking Ciampa.
Ciampa, Gargano, Dexter Lumis.
Dexter. Who was the 4th guy? Oh, I think we had Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner at one point on the other.
No. You mentioned Kyle and Von, and I said no. They're aiming at the tag titles, so we're not gonna. So they're not gonna be touched. But no, I actually I had a 5-on-5 land because but yeah, it was Tommaso, Gargano, Lumis, and shit.
Oh, could you do MSK and Imperium?
You could, but Imperium's been there long enough, so maybe not. And MSK really isn't that much old school NXT. They only showed up in the past year. I'm trying to. I had people. I had this all worked out. Oh shit.
Oh, Pete Dunne, maybe?
Yes. Because Pete Dunne, they just flipped babyface for no fucking reason.
Right. Then who would be opposite Pete Dunne then?
Shit.
Because you have Braun, you have Mello, you have
Braun,
Trick.
Trick.
That's tough.
I mean, I'm sure they'll convolute something into it, but I mean, because all the building blocks are there.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I'm sure
That's the way they're going.
They've got like 3 weeks to build it, so I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Whole 3 weeks.
The other thing I wanted to bring up before we get into breaking down at least what's been announced so far for Survivor Series, because there's only 4 officially announced matches right now. We're assuming there's going to be 2 more announced at some point, which are the tag titles facing off against each other.
And the mid cards.
And the IC versus the US, which would be Knock and Priest.
Yeah.
Obviously, the tag titles are RK Bro and the Usos.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we've discussed this at all behind this. I don't think we have. This dynamic they're doing with Ray and Dom. Now, granted, I'm no more of a Mysterio fan than you are, which is very little. But like, are they trying to make Dom like Ray's new Eddie? Now, this is not me putting Dom on Eddie's talent level. Let's start that right away. I mean, let me put that out there before anybody sends hate tweets and hate emails to me, because I can sense them starting to type already. But like, that was a thing where Ray and Eddie were Ray and Eddie, and then Eddie said, fuck you, like he typically did with his partners.
Right.
But it's incorporating a father-son thing here, too. That's like Dom can do the whole "you're holding me back" thing. Ray can do the whole "I'm just trying to guide you in the right direction." Blah, 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 blah. Like, how long do we have to milk this shit till we just say, okay, piss or get off the pot?
Because here's the issue. They're going to do that eventually. They're going to do the Mysterio split. The problem is that once you get to that split, you have nowhere to go, because Dominic Mysterio has go-away heat and no talent. They got his dad carrying him. He can't work fucking singles matches. He's fucking terrible. He's terrible in the ring. He's terrible on the fucking mic. And the fans, they don't care. They don't care about him. Right. Like, you can go ahead and make Dominic a heel all you want. The crowd's not going to boo him because he's a heel. The crowd's going to boo him because he fucking sucks. And nothing you do. And like, what? So what? We're going to do the blow off where fucking he beats Ray? Oh boy, no one's going to believe that. And if you have Ray beat him, well, you beat a nobody. Like, the only.
And he basically ended his career, by the way.
Exactly. Honestly, the only fucking thing they should do at this point is end Dominic's career. He shouldn't have been there in the first place.
I mean, we agreed on that years ago.
Like, in all honesty, if they wrote him off TV after that assault by Bobby Lashley and you never saw him again, fine. Do it. Keep him off TV.
Can we just call it cringeworthy?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only word I can think of that properly describes this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculously cringeworthy.
Absolutely.
Because, like, we've seen other family shit numerous times in WWE.
Yeah.
Numerous.
Yeah.
Whether you're talking about Brett and Owen, I mean, Jesus. There's been enough family shit. All the McMahon shit, I don't even want to fucking get into that.
Right.
This
Kane
just
and Taker,
comes off
technically, even though they're not related. Like,
right, but that was fucking when they started it in '97.
Right.
And I just Like, I could say they're missing a good mouthpiece, but even a good mouthpiece couldn't fix what goes on between the ropes.
Exactly.
It's just nothing about it passes the eyeball test is what it comes down to. And it's just, it's awkward.
The kid looks like a fucking tall 12-year-old.
It does.
Like, he doesn't look like, I know people are like, oh, the whole myth of who looks like a wrestler doesn't exist anymore. Yes, it still does. And Dominic Mysterio does not look like a fucking wrestler.
Yeah, it's
Dominic Mysterio looks like fucking half the fucking indies I see around here with guys who have fucking trained for 6 months, who go and buy their fucking gear at Hot Topic and have no muscle definition to them and go, I can do 3 flips. Make me a fucking movie star.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's just awkward. It's 50 Shades of Awkward. Like, there's 50 Shades of Grey, then there's 50 Shades of Awkward. This is the
at
latter.
Least he's not going to be on Survivor Series now.
Oh, yeah, that too.
But instead we get Trashly.
Yeah, and that's the other half of everything, by the way. I forgot to mention that in my banner that I put up here. So now we just throw away, like, being on a Survivor Series team is just a throwaway thing where you can just lose it at any point all of a sudden. We fucked Dom over, and now not that anybody wanted to see Aaliyah at Survivor Series, but, like, did they even name a replacement for Aaliyah yet, by the way?
I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did.
All right, let me pull up the card. Go ahead and say what you were going to say, but I'll
This is my issue with it, is Pierce and Sonya are basically the GMs for both shows. There is no rift between them. They are both basically playing heel GM right now. And there's no competition between them. There's no rivalry between them. Nothing. So why is it this is just bad fucking storytelling? Why is it on Monday fucking Adam Pierce said, I don't trust Dominic being on this team when, number one, he's supposedly the one that put him on the team. And he said, because I want Raw to win. Why do you care which brand wins? You oversee both of them.
Yeah,
that's horrible storytelling. At least back in the day when there were rival GMs, they went, I want my brand to win. These two people are the figureheads on both shows.
I don't know. I'm at a loss. Your guess is as good as mine. So here's the issue we have here. Between the 20 slots in these Survivor Series tag matches, 3 of them are still empty. Or excuse me, wait. 2. My apologies. The one that with Dom they filled with LSD.
Yeah.
They haven't announced a replacement for Aaliyah yet.
Oh, okay.
And I forgot about this. Jeff Hardy beat Sami Zayn with the stipulation losers off the SmackDown Survivor Series team.
Oh.
So now there's an empty spot on the men's team as well for SmackDown.
The fuck? Yeah, why didn't they just have, matches to determine who was going to be on this to begin with, and then they could have filled a few.
Because that's so 2017. Like, why?
Didn't they do it last year?
I'm being sarcastic, asshole.
I know.
You know what the easy fix would be for the men's match? Just make Riddick Moss get in the fucking ring. He's going to be listen, I don't like it any more than you, but he's going to be ringside anyway, so fuck it, why not? You know he can take a bump.
Yeah, that's about all he can do.
You get my point, though. All right, like let's just call it a spade a spade. Him and Rey Mysterio would be the token fuck it all guys on each side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like LSD, I'd prefer seeing him in this match than Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
All right. And now they need to find a fuck it girl for that sounded weird. They need to find the same kind of person for the SmackDown Women's team because that was going to be Aaliyah, but now
they'll probably put Naomi in there. They'll find a way for Naomi to get her come up and put her in there.
It's exactly what I was going to say. This might be Sonya's way of saying, you know what? You want to prove your worth around here? Fuck it. You're in it, Naomi. fucking go
no,
for it.
she'll more than likely Sonya will have Naomi versus someone in a match, and the winner gets on the team. And then she tries to fuck over Naomi, but Naomi gets her comeuppance.
Toni Storm?
It would be nice.
No, and the reason I mentioned Toni Storm is because SmackDown last week, she came out and challenged Charlotte, and Charlotte's basically said, fuck you.
Yeah.
So you could use this as a way, again, this is me trying to make sense, using the Survivor Series match to propel Toni with a good performance to getting into the title picture down the road.
Right.
Again, this is me trying to make sense out of Vince McMahon, and that's about almost as hard as trying to make sense of AEW. All right, so again, your Survivor Series matches on the men's side, it's Rollins, Balor, Owens, Mysterio, and Lashley versus Drew, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Happy Corbin, and to be announced for the 5th member. The women's match, it's Bianca, Rhea, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Zelina against Sasha, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Natalya, and
Fake it.
Who knows? You say fake it?
I said vacant.
Oh, vacant. Okay. I was going to say, dude, too much. And then we have our top matches for title versus, champion versus champion, not title versus title. My bad. Becky versus Charlotte and Big E versus Roman.
Yeah.
Who do you think closes the show? Like,
Big E versus Roman.
That's what I was going to assume. Is it safe to assume, though, also they could view those two singles champions matches as interchangeable and have one open, have one close?
I wouldn't put Big E and Roman out as the opener.
It could. And this is the only reason I say it could. I could see a world where they open with that and then do the Women's Survivor Series match.
No way Big E and Roman is ever going to be the curtain jerk.
Just put it out there. Or, all right, then let me put it this way. Your two options for the opening match, I think, are Becky Charlotte or RK Bro and the Usos.
RK Bro and the Usos.
I'm going to say RK Bro Usos, Women's Survivor Series match.
ICUS.
Yeah, ICUS. I am fucking blanking right now.
Men's Survivor Series
Becky,
match.
I'd say Becky. I don't know. Do you really do the title matches back to back to end the show?
Yeah.
You think they do Becky, Charlotte, and Roman E back to back?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we'll find out, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the booker. Fuck it. What do I care? Anyways, any other parting words or thoughts you want to give the fans?
More than likely, I'm going to be at the SmackDown taping on Friday.
What are they taping for?
They're airing the SmackDown's being shot Friday in Hartford. So,
well, they're going to be live at Hartford, right?
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. Like, Jesus, this isn't 2000. They're not taping it. Jesus Christ. Also, you're going to be there.
Yeah.
Don't they also do 205 Live there now?
I don't know. Maybe. I'll let you know.
I think they tape it, but
I'll let you know. I happen to fall into some tickets, so
just full disclosure, just to warn you, in case you haven't been watching 205 Live or keeping up with it, which I haven't. I just happen to see the tweets in passing. 205 Live is just a fucking name at this point.
Yeah, it's basically NXT rejects.
Sure. I mean, I wouldn't call Dakota Kai a reject, but like they had Dakota Kai and Corey Jade as a match recently. Yeah. Just as an example.
I know Odyssey Jones was on there a couple weeks ago.
So Zeta Ramir was in a women's match recently. So like, just forewarning you.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Oh, One quick thing before you go.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
So he's happy.
Money.
So he can be happy.
By the way, for those of you who aren't watching YouTube, that was a very vague introduction by me. Bray Wyatt is deciding to go into Hollywood, essentially. To him, I say whatever floats your boat for your mental health. Like I'm not one to talk. I'm not one to talk. Nobody's one to talk. You can't speak for the guy and what's going on between the ears.
Yeah.
So good on him. So then the question I put out there is, how long till he's back in the ring, if ever?
I say give him a year, see how he's doing, see what he's doing. Because obviously the first movie will be the test to see how he's doing and where he goes. If he gets cast in a couple of movies over the next year to 18 months, then within 2 years, maybe I could see him maybe considering stepping foot in the ring again.
You know what I'm going to be intrigued by the most?
What's that?
What the fuck do they make him look like for whatever movie he gets cast in?
Yeah.
That's what I want to fucking know.
Exactly.
Like, does he keep the nappy ass hair? Does he keep the beard? Like, what do they do to him? That's what I'm intrigued by.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a passing thought as we go. The Berserker was a jerk-off version of for WWF for Bruiser Brody. Anyways.
Why you gotta shit on John Nord?
Listen. What was it? Is it Survivor Series 91 I just saw him in? I think it was 91. I've been on a Survivor Series binge since the weekend. So I started in 87. Yeah, 87. And I've worked my way into, I paused Survivor Series 92 about halfway through earlier so I could prep for the show. I think it was Survivor Series 91 because he was part of the team that got swept by Slaughter, Duggan, Tito, and whoever I think it was Virgil on the team. I don't fucking know. But like, and I never made the thought connection till I saw it today. I'm like, Berserker was a fucking WWF cartoon version of Bruiser Brody.
Yeah.
The boots, like it's fucking. Oh,
listen, it was better than his AWA gimmick.
Touche. I'll give you that. Touche.
But he was over as a giant baby face there with that shit. Him and Flapjack Norton.
Okay, I'll give you that. Anyways, wow, we fucking went way. Wow. Okay. Anyways, that was episode 25 of White Heat, presented by Gazella Media, sponsored by our friends at Mohawk Honda and Johnstone Supply. Enjoy Survivor Series
if you can.
True. Pray for Ray to be one of the first 2 or 3 eliminated. Pray for Ray. That kind of rhymed. That was weird. Anyways, that's JJ Alexander. I'm Brian Cady. Get the fuck out of here. Goodbye.